What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Georgia Sports Nation. I got some more Hawks and Braves content on tap for you guys tonight. We're going to be discussing, first of all, the Braves made a huge trade today. Chris Sale for Vaughn Grissom, and the Boston Red Sox also sent the Braves money for Chris Sale's contract and deferred a lot of the money, similar, not as much as Shohei Ohtani's contract, obviously, but in a similar fashion. So Braves got a good deal financially for that trade, regardless of what you think about Grissom. And then for the Hawks, a quartet of just terrible losses. 4 games losing streak for the Hawks right now. They've had a double-digit lead in the second half of every single one of those games. It is not looking good right now. Last night against the Kings, it was an offensive problem. Normally, we're talking about how historic the offense is in a good way. Last night, it was historic in a bad way. So we'll talk about all of that when we break it down. But first, we got Damon, We Talk Hawks TV in the building. We're going to start a little bit with this Braves trade. Damon, what was your initial reaction when you first saw that Chris Sale was going to be an Atlanta Brave?
The first thing I originally thought was, one, Alex addressed the need. We knew we needed at least one legitimate starting pitcher. Two, when I figured this out later, because when I first saw the trade, I didn't see the part where the Red Sox was picking up $17 million of his salary. So then I was like, well, dang, we pretty much getting him for the low. Now, am I upset to see Grissom gone? I mean, yeah, I am.
Yeah.
But then that's the fan in me. Then reality, when I look at the Braves, I'm like, where was he going to play at anyway? I mean, his position, when I was talking to Ticket, his position is taken up by an all-star caliber player. So, I mean, his chances to come up here in Atlanta was slim to none, unless he started playing a different position. So for Alex to flip Grissom into what, some people might say a future Hall of Famer.
He definitely is.
Yeah,
without a question.
Who you asking? You can't beat that with a bat. And I know he's a little long, and what I was saying in the chat, I know he's a little longer than tooth, but we're not relying on him to be that our number one star.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
he probably could be number 3 here.
Yeah. So I mean, and then my last point on that, Mikey, is you can trust Alex, man. Like, the dude track record is like flawless. If you know what I'm saying? Like, the dude makes moves that helps us win games. You know what I'm saying? So until he does a couple things to make me doubt him, I gotta support. If he think the move is good, I'm with it. You feel me? I'm with it.
Yeah. And Sonia says as well, AA makes it work for our team. Yeah, he definitely does. And when I first saw this trade, my initial reaction was, I didn't think that Vaughn Grissom would be – well, let me preface that by saying I didn't think Vaughn Grissom would stay in Atlanta Brave past this offseason. I thought he would get traded. I just didn't think he'd get traded in this particular deal. I thought it would be a deal involving Dylan Cease from the White Sox. I think he still gets traded. The Braves still have the pieces to get Cease, but they would have to gut the farm system and probably trade Bryce Elder as well to get Cease now. And I don't think it's probably worth it when you still have you say whatever you want to get about Bryce Elder. He was an all-star last season. He's only going to get better just because he had pitched so many innings. He was so bad at the end of last year. I think that was the reason. But I'm overall, when I look at this trade, if I was to say like two main sentences about it, it's one, this trade makes the Braves better in the short term, and they're trying to win now. Second, Vaughn Grissom, like you said, Damon, wasn't going to play a lot this year because even though Alex Anthopoulos said in the winter meetings that, Alex Anthopoulos, he said maybe Vaughn Grissom is going to get some time in left field. But once the Braves traded for Jared Kelenic, I knew the writing was on the wall. There was no way that you were going to take a promising. He's going to be a third year in the league now. He had a great rookie season, struggled last season. He had a huge hot streak in the middle, and then broke his foot slamming a water cooler in the dugout. But he's shown a lot of promise, and in his third season, especially under Kevin Seitzer, who's one of the elite hitting coaches in the league. Yeah, I think it's a good move. Vaughn Grissom, unfortunately, would just had to go. He just wouldn't have helped the Braves that much this season.
And you know what, Mikey? It makes me wonder, like, with Alex. Now I could just be guessing, right? I could be totally off, right? But what the moves he made today, it makes me think like he what's the word I'm looking for? He sees what he wants to do, right? And he maps a plan. Prime example with Freddie Freeman. He knew he wanted to keep Freddie, but he also knew he might lose Freddie. So he already had plan B already lined up with Olsen. So look at the deal right now. He knew we needed to address the pitching staff. Now, I don't know if Sale was made available by the Red Sox. I don't know. But it's almost like he saw a player he wanted, and like he knew what asset he wanted to give up. So then he makes the trade, the earlier trade for, what's my guy name again in the left field?
Jared Kelnick.
Jared Kelnick. Just so he could free up that asset in Grissom. You know,
yeah.
Now I could be totally off, right? But it seems like he planned, and that's why I was saying I don't know if Chris Sale was made available at the time, and he targeted Chris Sale and was like, let me clear some assets up. But like, bro, the way that Alex moves, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think he has never made a move to where he had to fix a previous move that he's done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't think. I think you're right. And he has made some moves that are mistakes, right? He hasn't been perfect, but yeah, there's never been something that he's had to cover up that was just disastrous.
Right. Especially the last 3 years, bro. He been on the road, bro. Like, I ain't even gonna lie.
Yeah, there's not like
I didn't know what he was gonna do if Freddie left. When he had Olsen and bro, that dude. Trust Alex.
Yeah.
Somebody should make a shirt. There you go. Make a shirt, Mikey. Trust Alex.
Trust Alex. Yeah. He's been really good. And you mentioned the fact that I don't know if the Red Sox made Chris Sale available. You know, he waived a no trade clause to come play here. So he wanted to be here. So that's another thing that you love about that trade. And you know, for Grissom on the other side, I think the Red Sox probably going to play Grissom as their everyday second baseman. We saw Grissom play second base for the Braves when he came up and filled in for the injured Ozzie Albies 2 years ago. He did a pretty good job. He hit his first homer in Fenway. No, yeah, he did. He hit his first homer in Fenway. So he's going back to, and he's also from Boston. No, I don't know if he's from Boston, but he's from Massachusetts. So he's going home.
I mean, so it's a win-win for him, man. You get to go home and play. Now you get to go there. You're going there with a clean sheet. I don't know what the competition looking like for him up there at second base, but
he's I think he's going to start.
So this is opportunity, man. Like, what all the little kids be looking for, you looking for that opportunity. He a bit leaguer now. He gonna be a consistent bit leaguer, and you know, nothing but success for him from me, because he did a good job down here in Atlanta.
Yeah,
he did. Wish we could have kept him, but you know, hey, you got to give up talent to get talent, you know.
Yeah, and the Braves definitely made this trade in the short term, because you said it before, but Alex Anthopoulos hasn't really made a lot of mistakes, and you know, there's some Braves fans that will say, man, you know, no, he's been so bad. They look at what happened in the playoffs the last 2 years. Is it Alex Anthopoulos' fault that two of the most historic offenses to ever play baseball just forgot how to hit in 2 straight series in the playoffs? It's not his fault.
To the same team.
The Braves have not lost these 2 series in a row these past 2 years on pitching. It's all been the offense.
I mean, sometimes you gotta, you know what, and I know, you know, some of us don't like to do it, but sometimes you just gotta get the Phillies credit, man. Like, we caught him at a bad time, because you know what was so funny? Castellanos was killing us, and then he get to the next series, he couldn't hit nothing against the Diamondbacks. He couldn't get nothing going. So sometimes, I mean, it is what it is, man. But you know, and the last 3 years he bought you a World Series. He's bought you what? Last year we did. Correct me if I'm wrong. We ended up finish with the best record in Major League Baseball. So I mean, hey, as a fan, like you really can't. If you getting on Alex, you're probably like nitpicking. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I agree. Yeah,
You're
100%.
nitpicking. Because at the end of the day, he done bought you a championship. He got you the best record in baseball. And at the end of the day, like you said, the best went cold. I mean, it's really nothing you can do about it. You know, Alex can't go hit the ball for him. So I mean, you know, and the Phillies look like they got our number.
Yeah, it's like the opposite of it's like the Hawks and the Knicks in that one season where the Knicks had our number in the regular season. We blew them out of the water in the playoffs. The Braves had the Phillies number in the regular season. Phillies blew the Braves out of the water in the playoffs. It reminds me of that. But yeah, Sonia says here when we traded Wright and Soroka, I knew AA was about to be a move. Yeah, Kyle Wright, Soroka being gone, all of those guys really weren't going to help the Braves short term. And yes, this team is built for the long run because of all the contract extensions and how great of the contracts they are for the team. But yeah, you really something has got to change because it's just been 2 disappointing years of just great regular season and just terrible playoffs. Honestly, can't hit in the playoffs. It's not going to work. So,
but at the end of the day, man, your general manager, really what you expect from general manager is to put a team together that's going to compete. I mean, he does that. I mean, I don't know what fans. Well, I don't know what more Alex could do, right? As far as we all agree the playoff is disappointing, but yeah, I mean, I don't know what else he can do. I mean, he put a product out there, setting all type of records, winning a lot of games, having fun while doing it with style too. With Acuna out there, flashy, like. The Braves, the way he built this team, he gives you some of everything, man. Entertainment, flashiness, but they win games, And like I said, he came in the offseason. Fans was complaining about the starting pitching. He went and addressed it. And like I said, Sale may be a little bit longer in the tooth, but at least he didn't go dumpster diving.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Trying to give us a starter, some low budget. We hope he turn into something. He went and got a proven winner, and like I said, a future Hall of Fame. I mean,
yeah, he's got a championship to his name, and also for Chris Sale, yeah, he's 34, but for a pitcher, it's different. But 34 is on the old side just in general. But for a pitcher, most of the time it's not as significant if it's like a corner infielder or an outfielder or something like that. So Sale still got that in him, and his advanced metrics, the numbers on if you go to his baseball savant page, they're actually really good, more than what his ERA and just his numbers on the surface would suggest. And a lot of that has to do with Fenway Park. He was pitching at Fenway Park, such a hitter-friendly park, and Truist Park's more of a balanced.
Let me ask you this though: what would you consider a good number of starts for Sale? Because he does have a little bit of an injury history. So what would you consider? What number of starts over the next year would you be satisfied with to say we got a good enough number out of this guy?
I don't know about the number of starts, but
give me appearances there. How many?
Probably like roughly like 160, maybe 150 innings around there.
Okay.
So that's if you figure like average of 5 or 6, average of 5 innings a start.
Yeah, because Snick gonna pull you out after 5 minutes anyway. So I mean, it don't matter what you're doing.
Yeah, so like I think as long as he can stay relatively healthy, it's okay. But even then, the Braves still have Max Fried, still have Spencer Strider. Charlie Morton had almost the best year of his career last year at 39. Mm-hmm. So and so that, and by the way, that contract for Charlie Morton paying $20 million is looking better day after day after day because of what these players are making right now.
Right.
So Yoshinobu Yamamoto not even throwing an MLB pitch yet. $350 million contract from LA.
Yeah, but it's a little bit more to his contract though, because you're gonna make that money back off marketing, merch, overseas. Dodgers they're gonna make that money back.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Now that's a hard place to play though, because pitching out there, it's a lot. It come with a lot of pressure. Them LA fans, they don't play no games. They play no games when it come to winning. You know what I'm saying?
And they have they
for the
won
young pitcher's sake, I hope he come out there and do something.
The Lakers and the Dodgers, they both got their bubble championships there. But yeah, the Dodgers are a lot like the Braves right now, unfortunately, because they want to win series, but the team that they have and the team the Braves have, they should be winning multiple World Series within the next 6-7 years, hopefully, by Dodgers fans and for Braves fans' perspective as well.
Yeah, sucks. It sucks if your team is poor right now. Baseball, you got to have money to compete, man.
It's crazy. Baseball is a whole nother level, especially compared to basketball with the luxury tax, salary cap, so the aprons and so on and so forth. But yeah, that's a good point of transition now to our Atlanta Hawks, who now sit
here we go.
at 12-19.
Hold on, I'm about. You know what? So we talking Hawks. I'm about to stream this to my channel real quick.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Let me go and stream it over there.
I'll probably be done with this about we'll probably go for an hour.
That's cool.
But hey, this has not been the greatest of times for Hawks fans right now.
There you go. We're streaming. Let me cut my light on. It's streaming. Hold up.
Okay. Yeah, this has not been the greatest of Hawks times for now. The greatest of times for Hawks fans. 4 games in a row, 4 double-digit leads blown in the second half. Game against the Kings was just terrible. Against the Bulls recently, Andre Drummond, 20-20 game. And, that was really the only thing the Hawks did poorly. They lost the rebounding battle by 8 overall. So, Andre Drummond got 20 boards, but, the centers have got to do a better job there. But overall, this is just it's a common thing we've seen from the Hawks throughout the season, Damon. There is down the stretch. It's poor offensively. It was great defensively last night. The Hawks, sorry, not the Hawks. The Kings went on a 9-0 run to end the game, but that 9-0 run was accomplished in 4.5 minutes. Holding a team to 9 points in 4.5 minutes is great defense. Great defense. The Hawks just couldn't hit a basket. Trey, a couple bad shots down the stretch. Same with DeJounte, couldn't hit some mid-rangers. And then and basically sealed the deal after that.
Man, listen, man. This is why I be on Quinn Snyder. Because Quinn Snyder has to take control of the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter is where we just take everything we learn or in practice or whatever and just throw it out the window. Because let me tell you what I saw last night, Mike. You know what I saw last night? Now, mind you, I was watching the Kings telecast.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, it was under the 4-minute mark. I can't remember exactly when, though. Fox hits a 3, and he running his mouth. Now, this is right.
I was hearing him. He was loud.
He was running his mouth. You know what the Sacramento people said? They was like, he's talking to Trae Young's dad.
He was.
So the very next play, Trae comes down, and he tries to shoot a 3. He wanted to get that 3 up so bad.
Yeah. That wasn't. I know what shot you're talking about. That was not a good shot.
And that's what Quinn has to stop right there. Quinn he got to take control and say, Trae, Murray, Bogey, let's go back to what was working for us. What was working for us to help us build a 30? At one point, I think it was 31-8 at one point. What helped us get to this part? It wasn't what we doing right now. This is not, we wasn't just shooting contested threes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He got to take control of that, man. He cannot allow. And what I see in the fourth quarter, Mikey, from Quinn is the same thing I see from Nyght. It's the same thing I see from a Tibbs. I see old school basketball. Go to your best players and isolate. That's what I see. And okay, you want to do that? Maybe if Trey is hot, yeah, let's do that. Murray hot, Bogey cooking, do that. But when we're struggling from the field, all three of them was awful in the second half, shooting wise. They was awful. Bogey, Murray, and Trey. Quinn got to stop that. He got the call. Now, let me say this, because I've seen it before. Maybe he does. Maybe he does tell them don't do it, and they go out there and do it anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt right there. But it's the same stuff, man. Mikey, come on. How many times you heard me? Why you think I call it the death quarter? That third quarter.
Well, yeah, the third quarter. The Hawks have a minus 28 net rating in the second half of games over this 4-game streak, and a minus 33 in the fourth quarter. That's net rating is point differential per 100 possessions.
I was on the space with Tim, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tim read off players plus minus in clutch time. He was reading the starters, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all of them was like negative 30, 40, 50.
Jeez.
And that, to me, that is, I put a lot of that on the coach, because the reason it's like that is because he in the game with the starters. Those last 5 minutes is all the starters.
Yeah,
plus or minus a Kongwu. Plus or minus a Kongwu, depending on how he feeling that day, right?
Yeah.
But if we know who's going to be out there, Bogey,
no, not Bogey. He closed against the Kings.
Bay.
Lately, it's been Bay, yeah.
Yeah, he go back, he revert back to the starters. And that's what frustrates me about Coach Quinn. Sometimes you just got to go with what's working. You know, I understand the NBA politics side of the game. I understand that side of the game, but it's cost them games now. Winnable game we should have won.
Yeah.
You know? I heard the Boo Birds was out there yesterday too.
There was a few. There wasn't the large majority of fans in there, but yeah, I was hearing some of them for sure. But this game against the Kings, what's been more frustrating for me from an individual standpoint has just been DeJounte Murray's play in the second half. Bro, this man this is now 3 games in a row of absolutely great basketball. Great basketball in the first half. He had 16 points in the first half. He was playing great defense. De'Aaron Fox had a horrible first half. Great defense. And y'all know I'm gonna say when DeJounte Murray is playing bad point attack defense or not. I'm gonna point it out. And in the second half, all of that disappeared. He recorded 2 points and 1 stat in the second half.
How many? I called it, Mikey. I called it on the watch along. I told him. I said, "Hey,
2 points and 1
I
stat.
said, let's see how many shots Murray takes." Now,
in the second half, it was 11.
Now, if you go back to where but it was a post on Twitter. Murray was frustrated, and he told somebody about the way the Hawks practice is different when we play the game. How long ago was that?
Yeah, if the person who got that, I don't know when it was. I don't know about when it was or who sent it, but it was probably around a month ago, maybe 3 weeks ago.
Right. And ever since then, in the second half, it's like he don't do nothing in the second half. Almost like he's like protesting on the court. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, shooting 1 for 11 isn't protesting, but I get what you mean. Like, especially, I mean, that play's been all over the timeline where he loses Fox when he turns his back to him and he puts I know you quote tweeted it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I mean that play right there didn't bother me none, because the only reason that was even worth something is because we didn't get the rebound. If we get the rebound, there's no pass to be made to Fox. Because what he did, he was about to float, because Murray was assuming a miss, we get the board. and then Fox just shot to the corner, and then Murray got there late.
Yeah, he got faked out by the shot fake when he wasn't even guarding him.
Right. Because
So
I mean, like I was pointing out to other people, I said, why don't y'all post a clip where Trey, when he was guarding Duarte, it was 110, 110. Duarte was his man. Duarte was in the corner. Trey was nowhere to be found. He tried to come over there the last second.
I think Trey didn't have his best game last night. It was a bad game from Trey for sure. But defensively, it wasn't the Trey Young we've seen over the past few weeks. It was the Trey that, you know, people who, I don't agree with it, but people who say you can't build a winning franchise around Trey Young say because of the defense. It was that Trey Young last night, which has been rare over the past 2.5 weeks, maybe.
Well, like I tell people, man, basketball at the end of the day, it's a team sport, bro. One person is not going to change your defense. Not at the guard position. He's not going to. If Murray did what we wanted him to do as far as an on-ball defender, we still will be losing. We still will be giving up the points because
I don't think it'd be giving up as much.
It's too many holes on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, okay? And the only reason I point that out a lot about Murray is because I believe, and this is just my opinion, I don't know and from anybody, I only believe this because one of the central reasons the front office went for him was because of that reputation as point of attack defense. Not from him, his ability, but just his reputation around the league. That's the only reason why I'm like, you know, say, hey, like Murray, like this is why the Hawks got you. So that's the only reason why I pointed out a lot. But it's not like I'm saying that Trey's a better defender than Murray.
No. I ain't never think. No, you said something like that. I'm just trying to show fans that it's deeper. It's more than Murray when it comes to defense, bro. It's one play.
No, you're right.
Was it this game or the last game? Trey, this was crazy. Trey threw an alley-oop. This might have been the game before this. Trey threw an alley-oop to Jalen Johnson, right? How about Jalen Johnson beat everybody back down court to stop try to stop the dude from dunking the basketball? And I'm asking myself, where was Trey at?
That was on the Bulls. That was on the Bulls game, I think.
Yeah, where was anybody else at? How the guy finishing the alley-oop beat all the other Hawks down court? That's purity. It's laziness.
Yeah,
that's the first thing we got to get over. They're playing lazy as on the defensive side of the ball. And like I said, man, I really believe the players, I don't think they see what's happening. Like they can't see it and move. What was Matt saying? They can't see it and process it fast enough to react. So every time you see
I think he's right about that. That's a good point.
Every time you see us on the defensive side, we always reacting. You know, now it's a couple times they'll see stuff happen. That's how we get them steals and whatnot, right? But it's simple stuff like this, Mikey. They'll try to get a switch. What game was it? They got a switch. I look up. They had Trey Young on. He was Sabonis, I think. And I'm like, nobody sees this and not gonna try to switch it out. If you closer, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey Trey, switch, hurry, something, you know. Yeah. And then did you read the quote by what Clint Capella said at the press conference?
He was like, we got to scream at each other. We got to do something. Like, it just looks like this team is just so connected. It looks like it's something. It's in their heads, and it looks like it's something off the court. Honestly, it just from that quote, that's what it makes it look like.
Was that Kevin Chouinard or was that Brant Rowland who said that? Who said when they leave, it's like they all go their separate ways. One of them tweeted that today.
I'm not sure.
It was one of them. They said it looked like when they leave, like everybody just goes their separate ways. Like really, like Kip. We need to go talk to. You know who we need to go talk to, Mikey? We need to go hit up. Where my guy at? The Zodiac guy. Because the dude said look like it's no chemistry. Like they have nothing. Like they have no relationship off the court. I gotta
I
go
gotta
find
go.
that. It was a beat writer though. It was no random person. It
Yeah,
had to be
I didn't see
Shenard,
that yet, but yeah, send me that if
Shenard
you find it.
or Roland. It had to be
I don't
one
know.
of them because I was like, wow. Yeah, because it had to be somebody who's in the Hawks who got access to see
On the
what,
Sphere and the
yeah,
Hawks Sphere media. Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. We'll see about that. But in this game, though, the Hawks were up 18 at halftime. They had a 145 offensive rating in the first half, the Hawks. And then after halftime, I think it was a 76 offensive rating. And they scored 39 points in the second half. They shot 13. It was either 7 or 13 field goals. Not they shot. They made 7 or 13 field goals in the second half. Now, when you look at that number, first of all, you're just going to be, like the Kings defense was absolutely amazing. The Kings are bad defensively. They're not good. They allow a high percentage of rim takes. Sabonis is not a good defender, so when teams get to the rim, they shoot 68% or 64%. I'm looking at it now against the Kings. The Hawks, in comparison, shot 41% at the rim at this game. That's variance. But you cannot make 7 shots and a half and just
Like
continue to
how
think
many
you're gonna win that game.
how
That's
many
terrible.
missed layups you saw by Clint and Double O?
I mean, I didn't think Clint Capella was bad in that game.
I'm just talking
He
about
like
missed layup.
in general, yeah, a lot. But Capella, he was 5 of 7 from the field, and Kongu was 3 for 6. I thought Kongu was pretty poor in the game. Both centers really.
And
Um,
then it
but
goes back to another point I made about Quinn. You just said they give up 60% at the rim, right?
and the Hawks took a lot of rim shots though. They did.
We didn't attack the basket a lot though. A lot of those rim shots wasn't off attacking the basket. Who was attacking the basket? Uh,
Trey attacked
Not
the basket.
Murray.
DeJounte. Here's the thing. DeJounte actually attacked the basket last night,
Not in
but
the
he was
second half.
terrible at
He didn't
finishing.
do
He
none
couldn't
of that.
finish.
He didn't do that in the second half. He did that in the
No, he
first
attacked the
half.
basket in the first half.
Yeah, when he was cooking in the first half,
Yeah.
and then in the second half, it's like he just dials down the aggressiveness. But like I said, I think he does it because I think he got an issue with the coach. That's just me personally. But he dials it down. He dials down the aggressiveness. You know what I'm saying? But once again, if we had a big or Jalen, if we had somebody who had a back to the basket game, you could have played some of that. Why when the 3 ball went cold? You know what I'm saying?
And this is my point here. Look at Levi. Says DeJounte shoots 29% in the paint. I don't know. You probably
Right. He
got that.
can't because he
Terrible.
can't finish at the rim.
That's
And
terrible.
I said that last year. Like he needs to work on first, he got to put some size on. I'm sorry. I hate to say it. I would like to see him add on. I would like to see him about 90, 95-ish. All good shooting guards have done that. Your Kobe's, your Jordans, they all hit the weight room because they know they're gonna have to be able to take that contact and finish through that contact.
I think we're going to be talking about DeJounte being traded by like past January 9th. I don't think he'll still be here. That's just me. But yeah, this is obviously he's not the only problem, but I also want to get into this game on the offensive side because what I saw last night in the Kings game from Jalen Johnson was something really special because number one, before that in the first quarter, he looked terrible. He was terrible in the first quarter, but after that, he played 3/4 of amazing basketball. Trae Young and Jalen had great chemistry last night in the short roll. You saw Jalen set a screen. He maybe rolled to just like the nail or the free throw line extended. There's another word for that. And he'd get in the ball with a bounce pass. And Jalen now has that quick decision-making ability to either lob the ball to Okongwu, which he did several times, or he drives in, tries to draw contact and get to the line. I mean, Jalen, he'll eventually learn how to draw fouls a little bit better and play through contact. I mean, he had 6 free throws last night, and from Jalen, you don't see it a lot. 16 points and 15 rebounds, monster double-double. I thought he was really good besides that first quarter.
Well, like I told him in that space, man, I said, now let me say what you said about JJ being traded. I mean, excuse me, Murray being traded. I think the only reason Murray will be traded is because he went to the front office and told him he want to be out. I believe he has an issue with the way Quinn Snyder runs the offense. And I got to give DJ credit, being professional. If he has requested out, I'm glad it's not. Obviously, you're going to have the rumors, right? But it's good like the player or his agent has to come out and try to like tank the value.
Yeah.
Now, would I trade Murray right now? I probably wouldn't because of the salary. Now, what I would tell him is, let's finish the season. Let me move you this off season. At least that way you got $30 million on Murray, which means you could probably get a little bit more in return. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to give up a lot because right now he had what, like 17?
Yeah.
So,
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, he's at 17. But also, yeah, he's under contract for your contract extension. That's huge. So that's a lot of value. Teams that are like on the up are definitely gonna want that.
So you could use Murray to help spearhead a bigger move when at 30 million than at 17 million. You know what I'm saying? But once again, if the player don't want to be here, you know, we don't want to create a bad environment with his agents. You know, agents talk. You know what I'm saying? Hey, the Hawks trying to do dirty business. We don't want that out there. So if he want to be moved, you know, you got to move him.
Yeah, Rashad asks here, what y'all think about it? Trey, Bogey, JJ, Siakam, OO lineup? I love that lineup personally.
I don't think Quinn gonna run. He'll run with that unless he has some. He will have to have a legit shooter on that bench.
Well, I think he'd run with that lineup just because. Well, Siakam is struggling from 3 this year. He's not a terrible shooter. He's not horrible this year. For some reason, he has been. But
he's 50% from the field. So
yeah. Well, I'm just
3
talking
is awful. But
yeah, from 3. But Trey, I think Trey and Bogey, and with how Jalen is shooting it lately, I think it could work. I think the spacing's better than it is with Jalen, Hunter, and Capella. But that lineup has a good comp. Like Trey and Bogey, obviously not the best defenders, but the size on the back line, JJ, Siakam, Okongwu, all those guys can switch pick and rolls. All those guys are athletic, can play in transition. So I like the look of that lineup personally.
I like the lineup. I just don't think Quinn will do it. I think he always gonna have Bogey coming off the bench. That's just my 2 cents. Because
there's an argument for that, just because he's so comfortable, and he should be the 6th man of the year candidate so far.
Yeah.
So there's definitely an argument for that. Yeah, I'm not gonna argue that at all. But
I just want to see what is the decent return for you. So I've heard Knicks.
And now the Knicks might be a little bit tough with the OG trade. But I mean, there's still I guess Grimes, Achua, and like 2 firsts, but like
that don't do nothing.
Not the greatest. That's not the greatest.
That don't do nothing for us, you know. And I know I talked to Show and them, and they were saying get the picks so you can use the picks to get somebody else. But my thing is this: okay, what if you get the picks and no one else? You don't get a marketing.
Yeah.
You don't get a Siakam. Then what? Now you stuck with 2 picks, Grimes.
Grimes would slot in right in our shooting guard position, and he's a great point of attack defender. So that would be that. I mean, that's all right, but it's obviously not the value you want to get for a player like Murray.
And that's what I'm saying. So that could be a reason why Murray don't get moved. Now they could package him and go get Siakam if available. But like I said, if you go trade for Siakam, you know, if I'm Landry, I need him to do at least a 1+1 extension. Like I can't. If I'm Landry, I don't want to take on more not heartache, but I don't want to be nervous at the end of the season wondering if this guy's going to sign an extension.
Yeah,
You
that's
know what I'm
huge.
saying? Because that's going to hold you back from doing other moves. Because that's going to be your number one move. We got to resign this guy. So that's going to stop you from doing anything else. Who knows how long that'll take? Meanwhile, other teams snatching up other available players that might have been on your radar. So, I mean, would I be upset if we don't trade DJ? No, I wouldn't be upset. But I'm gonna tell you this: Quinn Snyder, he needs to really have a sit down with all his players. He needs to have a sit down, let people know what's their role, what's expected of them, so you don't have a player disgruntled with the coach. Because I believe that's why Murray want to leave. I believe he don't like the substitution patterns. Because Quinn's substitution pattern, especially in the first half, is predictable. Everybody know what he's going to do when he's going to do it.
That's most coaches, though. That's not only Quinn. But yeah,
it's not good, though, because it shows that you're not subbing due to what the other team is doing. You're not subbing because a player is struggling. You're subbing just because you're sticking to a routine, a schedule. You know, like I hate when he like 31-8. You know what I did? I said when I watched along, Mikey. You know what I said? I said I'll lead them starters in there and see how big I can get the lead, and then make substitutions maybe with 2 or 3 minutes left in the first. See how big I can get the lead because one, we know teams make runs.
You're not going to hold a 30-point lead for an entire game. That's
right. My thing is, why they? Because we know it wasn't our defense stopping them. They was just missing threes, right? I was like, just run it until build the biggest lead as you can, because you know that third quarter is going to be hell to pay in that third quarter. And
really, it was the whole second half. I mean, it was so strange. It's been so strange to me these past few games, but it's been so many tale of two halves for the Hawks, and for specific players too. Bogey had a stretch of amazing games, shooting 20 plus points in 6 games in a row, and then obviously and most great shooters go through this. You're going to have games where you're up here, and then a couple of games where you're like below the screen down here. And that's what Bogey's going through right now. It's nothing new, nothing major, but Saddiq Bey is like 14 for his last 62 on threes. And
what is he? If you get a chance, what is he from three from the corner? Because he was missing so many corner threes.
It's so many threes from the corner he's missed. And also, it's crazy that you mentioned that, because compared to last season, Saddiq shot 60% from the left corner. 60, almost all his threes. This was from Jack Dresser Foxology, but almost every single one of his threes attempted with the Hawks were in the left corner, and he shot 60%.
Yeah, he ain't doing it now. Not with this Hawks team, he ain't, because he was missing so many wide open threes. It got to the point I was like, man, just don't shoot it, just attack the basket.
And it doesn't help. It doesn't help when he's at the back line of the defense, just late on rotations a lot and stuff like that. It's hard to cover up when he's not making shots. He's letting it fly, though. At least early in the season, when he was still struggling, he wasn't taking enough threes. He's taking enough threes now. He's just not hitting them. And this is I think over all the stats I picked out about tonight, about the Kings game, and then we can move on to a little bit about the Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
The weirdest stat, I think, is the Hawks won the possession battle. They took 5 more shots than the Kings. They shot 10 more free throws than the Kings. They also made only 2 less threes than the Kings. But the Kings shot 51% for the game, and the Hawks shot 39%. Now, normally, the Hawks also out-rebounded the Kings. They also out-assisted them. I look at all these categories. The Hawks beat them. They couldn't make anything. They shot 39%. This was a make-or-miss shooting variance loss, in my opinion. Obviously, the second half, it wasn't great in terms of defense.
Mm-hmm.
But this game, the Kings have a 119 offensive rating. They held them to a 118 defensive rating. Offensive rating. That's not terrible. They held them to under their season average. The defense did enough to win, but they didn't make enough shots in the second half. 39 points is just, oh gosh.
I mean, look at I wonder how many. I know, like the Chicago game, they had tons of points in the paint, man. Like it was ridiculous. The Bulls were just getting points in the paint, points in the paint. Now, and like I tell people, I know Quinn likes shooting threes, but it's hard. Like you cannot allow a team to shoot 50, 60, 70% in the paint. I don't, because the threes, even if you shoot 53s and you hit them at 35%, bro, you giving up 50, 60% in the paint though. So they getting easy buckets. So I mean, listen, Quinn has to like I said, he need to have a team meeting, in my opinion. Not a player, they need to have a team meeting, air out some grievances, lay it all out there on the floor. And Quinn needs to make adjustments. I know he's probably one of those coaches who, his way works. Woo, woo, woo. He believes in his way.
No, he makes a lot of adjustments in game, but
I'm talking about make adjustments whenever they have a meeting and the players say so.
If in the future, okay.
Yeah, because I believe DeJounte is I believe his gripe is with the coach. I really believe that. I don't see why he would be upset at Trey. I don't see why he would be upset with the front offices. One thing I will now I do be on Landry Fields in the front office, but one thing I will say is they know how they treat their star players, the front office. Mm-hmm. They don't give star players no problems. Okay, they make sure whatever you need, you have.
Yeah.
Okay? So, but when I read that tweet, to me, it sounded like he upset with his role in Quinn's offense, and Quinn need to have a sit down. And it's the same thing with AJ. That's the same thing with AJ. Air all that stuff out. Air it out. Now, don't get me wrong. AJ probably did have some other stuff, but when I was talking,
we still don't know what actually
right.
was going on with AJ. Glad he's back now.
When I was talking to Matt said they did have a conversation about his playing time. Now he's a young guy, so I don't care if his dad.
He just turned 20. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't care if his dad a coach or not. Like he's still his own man, and he has his own feelings, how he feels toward things, right? And being AJ from last year this time, you getting ready to go to the All-Star weekend for the rookie thing to now you're not getting no playing time. I see you. What Dwayne say? If slacking Trey, if you slacking, see Trey slacking, but every week you see people blame you. But I'm gonna tell you like this though. If I'm a pro athlete, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like I don't care what a fan says. If I'm a pro athlete,
you shouldn't. Yeah,
I don't care what fans say because fans. We say what fans. We just say anything, right? It depends. Like I tell people, it depends on when you catch me. If you catch me in the Hawks like last night, you're gonna hear some stuff. But you could catch me if we upset a team in the playoffs, and I'm giving everybody the praise and glory. So it's all about when you catch me. So if I'm a pro athlete, I don't care what. Now, don't get me wrong. I'll probably be like KD. I would have me a little burner account. And I will be trolling. Yeah. I will be like in all like the team groups and stuff. Trolling. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean DeMond's bad? He's one of the best players on the team. That's what I would be doing personally. That. But here's the thing I want to bring up, Mikey, before we go to the Bulls game. Mm-hmm. I think Trey kind of got caught up in that moment with Fox.
Yeah, he probably did.
I think he got caught up a little bit. And that's one of the things he got to be able to shake that off. At the end of the day, you don't got to match Darren Fox with nothing. You just got to win the game. That's all that matters. Like players can go back and forth shooting threes all day, but no one cares if you lost. So I mean, if the Kings came back from 31 and we still won, it's no story. It's nothing to talk about.
Steven asked who wants to be here and play for Quinn. I think multiple stars. I mean, Bojan has expressed his how Quinn was great. Donovan Mitchell has publicly come out, and we know about that. And they had a lot of success. So players want to play for Quinn, But yeah, who wants to? Yeah, Landry wrestler. That's a whole other topic. We're not going to go down that rabbit hole on this show. We've done that plenty of times. But um, but yeah, I want to go into the Bulls game a little bit because it was basically the Hawks playing 2 games in a row. They didn't shoot. Now they didn't shoot as bad in the third and fourth quarters. They still scored 57 points, but for the Hawks, that's really not that good. No 30-point corners in the second half, and then in the first half, they scored 17 points in the first quarter, 39 in the second. So it's just like these tale of two halves are just consistent for the Hawks and consistent for DeJounte Murray, especially from a player standpoint. So it's just like what goes on after halftime or before halftime, depending on which is the bad half, to come out like so flat. That's what's got to be discovered here.
That's the $1 million question. But once again, I got to put that on the coach. It's the coach's job to have these boys ready. Just like at the beginning of the game, when they come out, I don't know what he tells them at halftime, but whatever it is, like if I'm Quinn, I'm gonna throw a wrench in it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I come out. Maybe I come out right. Maybe I'll come out at halftime, and instead of starting Bay, I got somebody else start, just to throw people off. Not people, but throw my team off. It kind of gets people attention. You know what I'm saying? Oh, hey, we ain't got bro here. We got bro, so you got to do A, B, C, D. Throw something off. You know what I'm saying? Everything with the Quinn Snyder since he's been here with the Hawks is to me it's redundant. It's the same stuff. You already know what's gonna happen. You already know all the substitution patterns. You know, keep the team guessing. You know, I'm just spitballing ideas, man. Something to shake it up a little bit. Maybe
Bay is shooting 29% on left corner threes compared to 60 last year.
He's been awful.
Yeah,
I mean, he's been awful from that corner. Like,
I agree with this, Steven, as well. Jalen needs a solid center, more athleticism and length than Capella, 100%. That's in length not so much, but athleticism for sure. And that's why Okongwu and Jalen play so well, because Jalen is above average in size and length for his position. So that's why he can play with Okongwu, and that's why Okongwu just does better in general with Jalen on the court. I mean, I know a lot of people said all the time, without Capella, Okongwu was terrible in a couple of these games, but without Jalen, it gets even worse. And he needs Jalen to make up for that a bit of undersized at that center position,
and the athleticism that's not there. I mean, he is he's above average athlete. We all know that. That's a no-brainer. You know what I'm saying?
Not Steven. Jalen is above average for his position. You should see the ratings on court with Jalen and Okongwu versus Jalen and Capella versus Okongwu and Capella. Like all the metrics favor Okongwu and Jalen.
See,
they just play so much better together than anybody else.
This is what I try to tell people, Mikey. This is what I try to tell people. When you're talking about Jalen, Okongwu, Jalen, Clint, whatever, I try to tell people, take the position out of your head, right? So when you're running JJ and Okongwu, you don't have to sit there and say, "Oh, is the center," so he's guarding the center. Jalen,
he could
guard anybody on the front line. You know, minus your big 7-footers like a Drummond. But so take the position out your head and just look at it as 5 dudes on the court. Don't look at it by position. You just got 5 guys, right? And that way you could be like, well, Jalen can guard 1 through whatever. Okongwu can guard 4, 5s. So then it doesn't seem so old school basketball. You know what I'm saying? Because people think, O's the center, so he has to guard the guy, but Jalen Johnson's taller than woo 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 woo. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, not all the time. It's got to be, and that
right.
goes back to my point, which I was saying on my show. Like I think it was on the Cavs show where people. It was the Cavs show because Capella was out of that game and Jared Allen was destroying the Hawks in the paint. But it's not always on Okongwu, even though he had a bad game that night. Okongwu's job being high on the screen, cutting Donovan Mitchell off from the middle. I mean, he did a great job of that, but the back line was just too small. Like, yeah, you got to look at the ins and outs and what's the best matchup instead of just saying, small forward to small forward, center guard center type of thing. Yeah, I agree.
Right. That's why I'll be telling people, just look at it as positionless basketball. You just got 5 dudes out there. Go guard somebody. It's almost like pickup. You know what I'm saying? Go guard somebody.
Yep.
So
yeah, that's where it came from before the show.
This is awful, man. This is awful right now.
12-19. I did it in a space last night late, but I'm gonna. It's a new low because I'm comparing us to the Pistons right now. But the Hawks are 12-19. The roster should not be 12-19. It's the same with the Pistons. I don't care what you say. The roster should not be 2-30. That is crazy. They have talent on that roster.
It take effort to be 2-30. Like you gotta work to lose that many games in a row. You gotta work. Like the game against Boston. They work to blow that lead. You gotta put in some effort to trick off that game that they tricked off. You feel me? But the thing with the Hawks is the guys that we have, they're just good on one side of the ball. And the problem is they're not even average on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
If they were just average, we would be above 500. Now we may not be no 20-8, but we probably would be reverse of the record we have now. That'd be reasonable.
I think we'd be around 4 or 5 games over 500.
Yeah, that'd be so reverse what we are now. That'll put us at what?
19-12. That'd put us in the playoffs.
That'd be that.
That's better than the Knicks. The Knicks are the 5th seed, and they're in the play, and then that's in the playoffs. So we'd be better than the Knicks if we had that record. So yeah, man, and that's what kills me because I brought it up several times, and Gerald always makes fun of me for saying it, but the team that you can't build the team for no injuries, but that's what the front office has done. DeAndre Hunter, Jalen Johnson, Clint Capella, DeJounte Murray, and Trae Young. That starting lineup, it was 20th in defensive rating, and that's not average, but that's good enough when this team plays offense like it normally does. But when one of those guys goes out, just one of them, it all turns to just absolute agony on the defensive end for fans to watch. So
and maybe
you just cannot build a team like that. It just doesn't work.
No, you can't. You can't. And we seen it firsthand. So, hey, it is what it is. We ain't got no Siakam. I mean, I don't know what Landry I don't know what the Hawks gonna do. I mean, you can't even. We're in a
Siakam trade's got a good.
Siakam in a bad situation. You couldn't even if I wanted to, Dwayne. Talking to Dwayne P in the chat, the homie. Even if I wanted to, Dwayne, since we traded off our picks to the Spurs, you couldn't even blow it up if you wanted to, because you don't got your pick next year. Your pick swap with them next year, and you don't got your pick after that. So even if you did want to blow it up, you can't even go that route. So it's like we are in a bad position right now, man. Just a bad position. Bad position.
But I don't. The Hawks aren't stuck. Okay, it may be bad. Like 12-19 is bad. Don't get me wrong. But the Hawks aren't stuck like the Cavs, for example. The Cavs, for example, it's not been good for them. But like they're in trouble because they have no picks. They also have no pieces unless they trade Donovan Mitchell and take a huge step back. They also have no pieces that they can really trade, young pieces that a lot of teams would want. and they're gonna have to choose between Jared Allen and Evan Mobley because they pay both. That's a ton of money. I don't know if they'd want to do that. So
if they were smart, they'd get off Donovan. They'd trade Donovan Mitchell if they were smart.
I think they should as well.
Because he not staying there, bro.
Yeah.
He's not staying there.
I don't think so. Yeah,
because they don't have. Is he restricted this year?
I'm not sure, but
if he unrestricted, they need to trade him.
Dwayne said it best here. Yeah, the Hawks have good talent, good young talent on the roster, and this is why I urge Hawks fans to say that the Hawks aren't stuck. Because yes, while we don't have as many picks as we could have, there are a lot of young players and talent on this roster that can be used to consolidate. Say what you want about DeAndre Hunter. He has a lot of trade value. Clint Capella is going to help a contender for sure. AJ Griffin, Onyeka Okongwu, DeJounte Murray, Jalen Johnson. Obviously, I don't think the Hawks want to trade him. I don't want to trade him. But if it was to get like one of these
this is the problem, Mike.
All NBA guys.
This the problem with the Hawks right now. Tony Wrestler, and see, this is why your GM has to be top notch, right? He need to go to Tony Wrestler, and he needs to explain to him what our avenues of approach are. If we want to try to win, Mr. Wrestler, you're gonna have to spend more money because we got to go get A, B, C, D to address A, B, C, D. If you don't want us to be in a cap, we're gonna have to develop these young players. The only way we could develop the young players is they're gonna have to play minutes at the NBA level. The college part stuff is cool. It's not NBA.
Buffkin's balling there now, but he's
not NBA. I've seen tons of people ball at College Park, come to the NBA, and can't do nothing.
Yeah.
Not saying that's Kobe. I'm just saying overall.
No, I know.
Yeah. So Wrestler has to decide: does he want us to develop this young talent so he don't have to spend money, or does he want to spend money, try to win, and if that goes his way, he's going to make money through the playoff games that we have at State Farm. But then also, when people talk about with these young players, you also got to factor in, you got the Trae Young factor. How important is Trae Young to your organization? Is Trae Young going to wait for a Kobe Buffkin, a Lundy, a Jalen Johnson to reach whatever goal they got to reach, whatever the organization set for them? Because that's going to take at least, young player to me, minimum 2 years, minimum.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's why I said we're stuck. We're in a bad, we're in a bad spot. We're not bad enough to tank.
No, we're not.
And you still don't want to tank because you got a player in Trae Young who's going to leave if he see you trying to tank.
Yeah, and I don't think the organization ever looks to trade Trae unless he acts out because he has a chance. He has a chance to be.
Are you trying to win? Yeah. If you're trying to win, now winning is based off what Trae Young think winning is, because that's the timeline you're really operating off of.
Yeah,
Trae Young is everything to this organization. Okay, he's the money maker of the organization. He has put the organization. People come to see him play, right? And that's some stuff you got to explain to Tony Wrestler, right? Trae Young, you got 3 years left with Trae Young, and I'm just basing that off his contract. What he got left. What are we trying to accomplish here? That's what somebody got to tell Tony Wrestler. You're gonna have to spend it. You can't see, and it's another thing, Mikey, and I'll be quiet. A lot of people will say the team has to show Mr. Wrestler why he should spend the money. That's not how it works at the pro level, right? Winning organizations, they go get star players. Let's make no mistake about it. They go get star players who are already on big money. They don't wait to see if this team win 50 games before we spend money. No, that's not what they do. That's why star players rarely become available, because soon as they come in, people snatch them up. They don't care where their team is at. If you can get said all NBA player, teams go get those players.
Yeah.
Your Lakers, your Celtics, back in the day, your Knicks, they go get stuff because they know you need at least one at the end of the day to win in this league. So he's gonna have to spend money sooner or later if he wants the team to compete, if he wants to keep Trae Young happy. You know what I'm saying?
I don't blame Wrestler for not paying the luxury tax this year. I mean, we'd be a better team if we were in it, but not contending. But if the Hawks got a Siakam, got a Lowry Marketing, somebody that really makes the team a lot better, and he didn't play the luxury tax, this team's cooked. After that, that would be terrible. That would be so bad.
Because you paying money regardless if you want to compete for a championship. Because guess what, Mikey? Most championship teams are filled with veteran players, not young players on rookie deals. You may have one or two on the team, but the rest of your team is usually veterans who making your star players making the 40 plus, your second level players somewhere around high 20s. Then you got those veterans at 15, 17, So it depends on what he want to do, man. It depends what he want to do. This Siakam stuff, I enjoy embracing it, talking about it. But at the end of the day, it's gonna cost money to get Siakam and keep him because you got to extend him.
He's got to go. Yeah, he's got to go into the tax.
So you gonna pay. That's what I'm saying. You paying money. You gonna pay money if you want to compete and win in this league. And until Mr. Wrestler say, "Hey, Landry, make it happen. Make it happen. Build me a contender." That's what he should tell Landry Fields in the front office. He shouldn't say stay. He needs to say, "Build me a contender. I'll give you 2 years to build me a contender."
Yeah.
So you can go get the players. Because what do they do, Mikey? What do you see teams who competing like Celtics, like the Sixers? You know what they're gonna do at the trade deadline? They're gonna see what veterans get cut and then go get those veterans. Now, fortunately for them, at that time, those veterans gonna come to them on vet minimum deals. You see what I'm saying?
The Suns aren't doing well with that right now. But yeah, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
Injuries for them.
Yeah. So
Bill ain't playing.
I want to get into. Before we got probably like 10 minutes left to go. I want to get into a little bit of preview for Washington tomorrow. Hawks play at 3:00 on the road in Washington. Hey, the Wizards are bad. Hawks aren't great. They're not good actually, but this is a team on paper that the Hawks should absolutely destroy. What is going to be your key to winning this game?
Getting on them early, not giving them any hope that they can beat us. Jump on them early. Keep the pressure on them. Let Jordan Poole and Cal, let them do their thing. They're going to do their thing. They're going to do their little alley-oops down 20. Let them do that. They had the fun stuff. We need to get on them early. This is a game, Mikey. I expect to see AJ Griffin, some of the young players, some of the players on the bench to get some time in the fourth quarter.
Bruno.
Like, I expect this to be up by 20.
We might see Bruno, actually. Onyeka Okongwu is now doubtful for the game with an illness.
Well, I expect to see some young players getting some burn, meaning we should be up double digits easy. But let me keep my mouth closed because you don't know what Hawk team going to show up and you don't know what half they're going to show up.
Which half is it going to be? Yeah,
I'm going to tell you one thing, though, that third quarter never fails. That third quarter, that death quarter, that's what I call it, man. Now, Murray needs to contain Poole because we do know Poole is a streaky shooter. We don't want him to get going, because them streaky shooters, one, they get the crowd in it and they get their teammates motivated and excited. So we want to remind those guys, you won how many games they won so far? 2, 3?
The Wizards have won more than that. I think they won 5
4?
or 6.
They got to be under 5.
No, I think they've won 5 games. But for me, yeah, they won 6 games, 6-25.
Okay. We need to remind them that they're a 6-25 team.
Yeah. And for me, Jalen, this is where Jalen obviously got injured last time. Kyle Kuzma, he was injured in Sabrina, but he's probably going to be guarding Kuzma. This is going to be an interesting matchup to watch, guys, because Jalen, they're both 6'9". They are both similar body types, Kyle Kuzma and Jalen, but Jalen just plays so much. They play so much different. Kuzma's a guy who likes to shoot a lot of threes, likes to shoot mid rangers, doesn't like to get to the rim a lot. Jalen, on the other hand, he'll shoot the three, but he likes to get into the rim, and he's a great defender. Kuzma's a good offensive player, so it's going to be good offense against good defense. That'll be a really interesting matchup to watch. I want to see Jalen guard him really well. Obviously, with what happened, but hopefully Jalen stays and plays the game like the 3 quarters of the 3 final quarters he did last game, because that was. He had a huge impact on the game, even though the Hawks lost. I mean, 16 points, 15 rebound, double for Jalen is nothing to scoff at right there.
Yeah, I would like to see Jalen get more minutes in the first quarter though, because he always take him out with Trey.
So. Well, I get that. I get that because the purpose of doing that is to have Jalen play with Okongwu for as long as possible in the first half, because he plays from the bridge to the first quarter to the second quarter. And then then he subs out Okongwu. Once Jalen comes back, he subs him out, and then Capella, and then the starters come in. So I like how he does that. But
I want to see Jalen with Murray and the second unit. I want to see Jalen, Bogey, Murray. So
you want Bogey at the small forward?
I don't care where you play. I just want him.
Jalen, Murray.
Jalen. Bogey, Jalen, double O.
Mm-hmm.
Bogey, Murray, and
you need a small forward in there.
Damn.
Garrison Matthews?
Hey, man.
Garrison Matthews?
Oh, Garrison, man. Listen, man. Garrison Matthews.
We need. Yeah, I wish. And Seth Lundy would be getting these minutes over Patty Mills and Garrison. I'm pretty certain of it. But that injury is terrible. That's such a bad injury for Lundy. He was getting mainstay minutes for 2 games in a row, and then he twists his ankle.
I'm glad it wasn't his knee, man, because I thought he grabbed his knee at first. I'm like, Lord have mercy, please. Luckily, it was his ankle. So
yeah, thankfully it doesn't look too bad. He's day to day, so he could be back at any moment here. But this is, if the Hawks lose this game. I mean, I know we've said this a lot of times, but
Mikey,
it's cooked.
Mikey, if we lose this game to the Wizards, y'all might not want to come to the post-game live tomorrow. There's going to be so much Quinn slander. You think I slandered Quinn last night? Bro, I don't even want to see he shouldn't even come back to Atlanta if we lose this game tomorrow.
Y'all are on Quinn so much. I really don't think. Hey, we've gone through 3 coaches so quick. You've got to stay on one coach. I don't think Nyght was the long-term solution for this coach.
You know why?
I don't think Quinn's done a great job.
You know why I'm on Quinn, Mikey?
I think he is the coach that Trae Young, a team built around Trae Young, should want.
You know why I'm on Quinn so hard?
Because people said he would fix everything.
Yeah, because people blame
those people didn't account for the roster that they were seeing.
Because people blame Nate McMillan instead of the players on the team. Now, since their guy Quinn is losing, now everybody wants to blame the players on the team. And all I do, I just remind them what they said. Y'all told me Quinn was going to do A, B, C, and D. This is what y'all said. And now y'all change. Now y'all switching up. Just like I be on them about AJ. A lot of fans who was bigging up AJ last year, and I said that in that space too. I was in that space with Tim and them. I said, a lot of y'all who was on that AJ bandwagon telling me he was this and that. A lot of y'all done bailed on the man. You know what I'm saying? I'm just here to remind people, because my whole point was this. The roster has been flawed for 2 years. It's been flawed for 2 years now. The same jokers, the core players, is still here. from last year and the year before that. But for some reason, people thought it was just a Nate McMillan issue. It was a John Collins issue. No, it's the whole roster issue put together by the front office, and we don't know. At this point, we don't know who drafted who at this point. We don't know who was in charge of what at this point. You know what I'm saying? Did Landry say yeah? Did Travis say yeah? Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's all I do. All I do is just remind cats, hey, last year this time you were saying fire Nate McMillan, everything's gonna change. Now all of a sudden it's the players. We need time. 2028. Woo.
Well, some people did say that Nate was the only problem. There were some people saying that, but yeah, like that. I don't. The only problem is not the way to address that. Like, obviously Nate wasn't the right coach for a team with DeJounte and Trey. I don't think that works.
Nate wasn't the right coach for a team that's not smart.
Yeah. Well, Nate, like,
you know what I mean? You know what I mean by
Lakers, and I think he'd do a good job.
You know what I mean by that, Mikey? You know what I mean by that when I say a team that's not smart? Nate is Nate is an old school coach. Okay. When you think 90s basketball,
mid-range, tough,
mid-range,
low,
your superstars carried your team.
Slower pace.
And the coaches really didn't do a lot. A lot of that was because you usually used to hear the term when they say a coach on the floor, a coach on the court. Mm-hmm. So you had players out there who already knew what to do. The Hawks are still young. You know what I'm saying? So they don't know what to do on their own. They need to be coached. And Nate is more of a veteran coach where they already know what to do. To where, what's the saying? You could pretty much, it's like if you got a LeBron-led team, you can pretty much set it and forget it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, do A, B, C, D. All right, we got it. Let's go. They could just run their own stuff. With the Hawks, and this is where we messed up at. The day we fired LP is that's the beginning of the mess ups, because we was really still a developing young team. Now, granted, I know Trey Young,
but I mean, he had lost the locker room, and the star player wasn't getting along with him. So that's a different situation than this whole Nate thing.
And that's the issue. And I didn't know you back then, but on Facebook in New Pack City, that's why I always told those guys, you can't have a rookie superstar and a rookie head coach.
I think that was
stupid. Just that made no sense to me. But I understood why Travis did it, because Travis really
he was going to go along with it.
He wanted a yes man, basically. That's what he wants, somebody who won't go give no issue. Hey, we take it for these picks. I don't want to hear no coach mouth talk about win. Let me get me a first-time coach who just going to say yes, because that's your first opportunity. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, the organization, we've had some bumps in the road. But I think where we're at right now, with Quinn Snyder, we don't have the, and I hate to say it like this, on the defense side of the ball, we don't have the IQ on the defense side.
We don't have the players. The players, Clint Capella, Jalen Johnson, Quinn Snyder himself has also said it. The effort isn't the issue. Like, some nights, for example, like I think in the second half against the Bulls, like the effort just went down below where it needed to be. But that's why when Foot says, like, a lot of times it's effort, I mean, the players and the coach have come out, and Landry's come out and said it himself. I don't think it's the effort. Like, this team just doesn't have the defenders. But
some of it is effort. Like that play I was talking about where Jalen beat everybody back.
Well, yeah, don't get me wrong. It's not always one or the other. But I don't think it's been last season, a lot of times it was. This season, I don't really think it is at all. It's just this team.
Hey, they don't
have a lot of defenders. There is such a thing as defensive talent.
Yeah,
there is such a thing as defensive talent.
It is. That's why everybody don't make all defensive teams. Like, only certain players make them.
So, but yeah, with that being said, do you want to promote your? I'm sure you're doing a watch along tomorrow, right?
Yeah. Y'all know
Yeah.
what time it is, man. Watch along tomorrow. We better win. I'm gonna tell you that now. We better win. We lose this game tomorrow. I don't want to hear Quinn Snyder nothing. I don't want. He don't come back to State Farm. Quinn
You're not
Snyder.
getting fired, but yeah,
He ain't fired.
you're not getting fired. There's
You
no
better
way.
be glad. You just be glad I don't live in Atlanta, because I will be down there with my sign and everything right outside State Farm Arena.
You
I will
said
be out.
fire, Quinn.
Huh? Yeah.
You
I will have a Fire Quinn sign. I will have a Sell the Team sign. I will have me I have one sign where it just says boo, and I'm gonna have me a bullhorn playing boo while I stand here just like that. Boo. Because I'm gonna tell you something, Mikey. That let people know that I'm gonna tell you something. Years ago, bro, there was no Hawks fans. Let me keep it a buck with you.
Yeah, a lot of them came on after the Eastern Conference Final run.
Yeah, there was no Hawks fans. It's almost like no one really cared about the Hawks, right? State Farm, what was it called? I forgot what it's called. But before it was named State Farm, bro, that arena used to be emptied in the mug.
Phillips Arena?
Yeah, Phillips. It used to be empty until we made the playoffs with Al Horford and them and Joe Johnson. That place used to be empty, right? And I always told myself, the front office don't do shit because no one cares. No one's at the game. No one cares about the Hawks, right? You know how many people I meet from Atlanta, the city of Atlanta, and they don't even mess with the Hawks. So now, with players' ownership, they hear fans. So when fans is complaining, season ticket holders is complaining, you know, they care about that stuff. And that's why I will be out there doing it, because I know they will care. And other fans will ask me, hey man, what you doing out here booing? Because it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. Let me tell you, Phillips Arena ain't cheap, bro. You have them tickets?
Oh,
Not,
yeah.
I said Phillips, State Farm.
State
It
Farm.
ain't cheap. You know what I'm saying? That it costs to get some good. Well, I like to say it costs money. And to go out there and watch a team just trick off games, it's unacceptable for me, man. Unacceptable. I try to tell fans we need to hold our team just like they the LA Lakers. Laker Nation just won a championship and they still be upset.
Well, that's ridiculous in my opinion.
Because they're used to excellence.
But they're used to it. Yeah, no, yeah,
right.
Yeah.
We need to force them, right, to say, hey, us fans, Hawks fans, we are a top 10 market in the NBA, bro. Well, a top 10 market, period. We should be holding our team to the same standard, man. Like Lakers, even with Kobe, they didn't care who Kobe played with. When he was playing with Smush Parker, they were still mad. Why we ain't in the finals? Whoa. I'm like, dang, y'all ruthless. Same thing with the Celtics. They were just they one of the top teams in the league. They still be complaining. And that's how, you know, I want our fan base. I want us to demand excellence. I want us to say, listen, we want you to go after the stars, just like the Lakers do, the Celtics do. Why we always got to settle for the third level guys instead of a DeJounte? Why we don't have the superstar guy, you know? And that's all I'm on. I want us to fans, you know, I want our organization to go after put a first class team on that court. Listen, Joel, Atlanta is a top 10 market in America. Metro Atlanta.
Just Atlanta in general.
Market. Not the Hawks. When I say the Hawks, I mean Atlanta. The
city.
Yeah. Never mind.
But no, like the city, everything. Yeah, no. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying, Mikey.
Yeah,
we demand excellence. He makes enough money.
Yeah,
Russell got plenty of money.
They've got to win this game tomorrow. They've got to right in the ship somehow and get the front office to make the front office believe that they're maybe going to turn the ship around at some point and try and make a move. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, with that being said, that'll be the show right there, guys. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Georgia Sports Nation. We Talk Hawks TV in the building. Make sure to go check out Damon's live streams, watch alongs. Make sure to check out the post game too. That's when the real fun begins. That open forum is no joke. That is fun.
You got to be a savage in the open forums, baby. You got to be a savage. Hey, salute to everybody in the chat, man. Southside, Tristan, Sports, Foot. Who else was in there? Trouble Man, Dwayne, Jewel. Salute to everybody in the chat, man.
Yeah, thank y'all for coming. We're probably gonna do another episode of Georgia Sports Nation tomorrow, next week on Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern time. So
real quick, Mikey, tell them why you can't come. You don't be at the post game live show because they be asking where your ass be at.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I wasn't there. I couldn't be there last night. But anytime I go to the game, I most likely won't be able to go on the show because I have to do the podcast late at night when I get back home, and it's like an hour drive for me to the stadium. So that is why I wasn't on there. But I'll try to get on there for the Wizards game. For sure.
They said you and Matt was ducking last night.
Nah, I knew you saw the message I wrote in the chat in the morning, right? I knew they'd say that. I knew they'd say that.
They said you and Matt was ducking last night. Y'all ain't want none of that Quinn smoke last night.
I knew they'd say that. But yeah, I'll be back there. But without further ado, that'll end it. Make sure to tune in next Friday. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.